Okay, I said I was going to talk about rabbits. When we were growing up as kids, we had rabbits. First of all, we had chickens. We had this chicken hutch building about 8 foot, about 12 foot, or maybe 14 or 16 foot. But anyhow, it was a pretty spacious chicken house. And we would feed the chickens and play with the chickens and so forth. At first, we had white leghorn hens, and then we had brown hens, and we had colorful hens. We had brown eggs, blue eggs, green eggs, white eggs, and the white chickens, the leghorns, were like white cats and white cows. You know, white animals oftentimes are the proudest animals and most stuck up and stubborn and mean bullies to the other animals. That's the way they often work. If you had a choice between a black or a white animal, you should probably choose the black animal or the brown or the red animal. But you should probably not be choosing the white animal if you only have one animal to choose. Because the one animal that you choose is going to be patterning itself after you for the most part. But the white animal is going to pick up your bad traits. And the other color animals are going to pick out your good traits. And they're going to show off who you are. You don't want a white animal if you only got one animal. The white animal is going to show you up for who you are, and it's going to be embarrassing. The white animal is always too big for their britches. They're just too proud and too much of a me character. So I wouldn't want a me character sitting around and watching me and becoming more like me. Now, before I did that, I want to make sure who I am. I don't want to be a mean character. Well, and then I don't want to come across as somebody that doesn't want you around, and that's sometimes the way that these white animals are. So I'm not going to have a white animal. I'm going to have me a red chicken or a brown chicken or something like that. When I go traveling with my camper that I have custom built, or if I could have some kind of a camper with a solar roof, I could have plants growing, vegetables growing in my camper. I gotta have a vent coming in from the front and dry my clothes after I have washed them in the truck stop shower. Because you have unlimited water in the truck stop shower, and you can wash your clothes in there when you're taking the shower. And then you can hang them up to dry in your air cooled vent that you made for yourself in your camper as you're going down the road. Or if you have an open truck bed, you can dry them in that somehow when you're traveling. And then I can have my chicken cage and I can get the chicken out and play with him. Yeah, play with her. Play with my chicken. I'll probably have two chickens in in one box so they can play with each other while we're traveling. And then I get one out and play with it and put it back in there and then get the other one out and play with it. But they're not going to be white. But anyway, what was I saying? We had rabbits, and these rabbits would scratch, is what we found out. They were not good pets after all. They were fun to look at, and I didn't mind feeding them that bad. But it became more of a chore to feed those rabbits when I discovered that you could not have a rabbit for a friendly pet because he would scratch you, always wanting to get away. So these became uh, somewhat of a nuisance. And my dad decided to go out of the rabbit business too. apparently he didn't like him too. That's what I'm trying to say. But the rabbits were pretty to look at, and the little babies were so cute. You can hold a little baby rabbit in your hand, but he soon got big enough to scratch. He would scramble out of your arms and run. Fortunately, they couldn't go very far because they were in the chicken house. We had cages, uh, pens built in the back of the chicken house for these rabbits. And we had them up in the air so that the chickens could run underneath still. They didn't take up any of the chickens' room away. So that was a pretty simple and wise way of having rabbits in a chicken house. Space conserver. My dad was a smart man. He could do anything he wanted to do, and he could build stuff. He was a welder. He could fix stuff. He could build stuff with a welder. He was a machinist. That's what some people call him. But he was also a master bricklayer, and he trained people how to do bricklayer work. It's a trade that we never learned as children. So it's not being passed on to generations, I guess, except one of my nephews, I understand, is a brick mason. I just recently learned that. But anyway, so the rabbits had to go, and then we only had the chicken. But then we got a new chicken house, and the old chicken house just sat there and rotted away. Well, it's still sitting there, I guess, but it's not much count anymore. I guess you could probably still use it for more chickens if you had chickens in the other one and got full. But so yeah, I really enjoyed the chickens. The chickens would come out in the yard in the afternoons. We'd let them out, and I'd have fun with these chickens and feed them popcorn and pet them and play with them. Yeah, I'm a great fan of chickens. So that's the rabbit and chicken story for you today. Thank you.